Okay, maybe it's going now. Okay. Finally. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, it seems like it's been a long time since I've been on this computer, my main computer. I've been doing the live streams using my iPhone, but this is over 2 months since I used this desktop computer, and I've been having a lot of difficulties trying to set up. In fact, well, let me know if the sound is okay. Okay. I'm looking on my monitor here and I can see my face. It seems to be okay, but I want to make sure that it is streaming well. Okay. Yeah, it feels really weird doing this. Okay, let me check this other stream here. Okay. I have a viewer here. Yes, welcome viewer. Welcome to my live stream this Saturday afternoon. It is now, okay, it's November 10th. And it's 12:57 p.m. I've been up quite early today, very early. This is a very weird day for me, and as you see with my title of this live stream, I entitled it Beyond the Veil of Blackness is Truth. Well, I'm sorry, Beyond the Veil of Blackness is Truth. I'm also going to talk about an unexplained paranormal event. So there's actually two things I want to talk about. And I think it's all related. How you have factions and how people or paranormal events try to hinder your full fruition in life. And yes, hello, new viewer, hello. And in fact, I invite all you viewers to just type in hello in the chat box so I know who is live streaming with me. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, that's okay too. But if you're bold like I am today, go for it. Well, I want to talk about, I had a paranormal event that happened to me today. At least I think it is a possibility. Something very bizarre happened. I have to backtrack a little bit. You know how, yes, hello viewers, hello. Yes, I'm going to talk about very interesting things. And again, this video is not just for people of color, but for anyone who's living on this planet who has ever incurred trials, tribulation, watching the media and you feel like you're being manipulated, and then also paranormal. Now, I've discussed in my video, yes, hello, natural knots. Yes, that's right, be bold. Yes, greetings. Yes, I think this topic will be very interesting to many of you. I got up early today. And I got up early today for several reasons. Well, I've been having chiropractic work done for the past month and a half. Right now my back is hurting, and I've been avoiding using this laptop here. This is my main computer because I've been having problems with my neck. And so I thought, I'm not going to use this computer and just use my iPhone, and I like the spontaneity of it. I don't have to set anything up like this desktop that I'm using right now. But today I feel forced to use this computer because I've been trying to upload, to do a live stream. I started to do a live stream around, it wasn't even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. And my phone was going on the blink. I started to do the live stream, and then it gets stuck. It like froze. And I tried several times, and excuse me, it kept on stopping. But one of the particular times that I did it, I thought, well, okay, now it wasn't a live stream, the one that I was able to do. I had, like, because I couldn't do the live stream, I said, let me just record it, just do a plain recording and then upload it later on. And so I did that, and maybe 7 minutes into doing it, it goes on, it freezes too. Oh no, yeah, it froze, and then I noticed it had like a little, like an amber triangle on top. So I thought, oh, maybe it's because I don't have enough room on my cell phone. But a lot of times with the iPhone, I use the iPhone 6 Plus, and it's about 3 years old. And I don't really have much problem with it doing the live streams. And again, that's what I've been using. And when I don't have enough room on it, it'll just pop up a message, low energy or not enough room. You know, it'll warn you, and then it cut itself off. But this particular paranormal event, well, it seemed like a paranormal event happened, and I'm going to share that at the end of this this live stream, because I feel that the information that I wanted to share was being thwarted, that it didn't want me to share it, and so it kept jamming my phone. And even this computer I'm using now, it froze on me too. So I think it's really important, and I've discussed this before in the past, and I feel it's important to really talk about it, because I sense with all this stuff happening in the media, with the current politics of the day in the United States of America, that we're all going to be tested. Things are happening, and I share this to encourage myself and others and any particular individual to watch this video and to try to stay focused, to try to stay, I meant to say, centered in yourself, because things are going to be trying to persuade you to do things you don't want to do, try to make you afraid. And I've shared many times on my channel, Spirit Journey channel, that growing up, I was a very, very fearful individual. And if what I thought happened early this morning happened, I think as a child I would have been extremely frightened. But I stood my ground, and I'm glad that I did so. I want to talk about one's blackness. That blackness has many, many connotations. Blackness could mean about, in this case, things that are covered, things that are veiled from our awareness or our view. And you also have about blackness regarding the so-called race of people who come from the sub-Saharan Africa. That's what I'm really referring to. But not just them, but any people, any indigenous people on this planet who have faced discrimination, hatred, poverty, and the like. I see that people are being bombarded with a lot of things on television. We watch a lot of videos, and we see all these visual images of people of color, and in particular black people slash African American people. And not just people from blacks from North America, but the Caribbean, South America, and you have blacks in Europe, and of course, continental Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, and those people who identify being a part of the black race. And I saw over the years how we start to act. If you go into any major black community in the United States, you see the same pattern. You see a lot of fast food outlets. You see a lot of obesity. You also see a lot of violence, a lot of screaming. Here, I live in New York City. And over the summer, I would find men, whether they're black men or Hispanic men from the Caribbean, doing this yell and just weird. And they look like they're just out of their mind. And I don't understand this. I haven't seen that before. And again, this happened just a couple of months ago, over the summer. And I didn't understand why this new phenomenon, as I call it. And you have so many states, like Detroit is known for a lot of intense violence, or Chicago. And I asked myself, why is this? So you have to look at history. Do you remember the movie Planet of the Apes? I was watching one of the versions. Now there are different versions of the movie. You know, there's Planet of the Apes, Revenge of the Planet of the Apes, and so on. There's a lot of them. But there's a new version that was made, I think, just 1 year ago. And I watched it with a family member just maybe 2 days ago. And I said to myself, now, the Planet of the Apes is, and the other series of it, it's about a futuristic planet Earth and how the primates had overcome, they were starting to get intelligent, and the humans were dumbified. They became, some type of virus happened and it attacked their faculties, their mental faculties, and they became like so-called animals. And the primates took dominance over them. And now the original movie came out, I think, 1968 or 67. But you know what happened around that time? That was around the time that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. got assassinated. And so here you have these primates that are able to stand upright and take over. And again, most of the people that they showed in the original version were white people. They had one black cast member. It was a man. And even he in the movie became an exhibit at a zoo. He was killed and then stuffed and displayed. So just imagine that. Here, I was a little girl when that movie came out. And I remember when the original came out, and I saw it. Now, I didn't really understand about racism. I wasn't raised in a segregated society like in the South. I was born and raised in the North. But even though I wasn't born in the South, intent is what speaks the loudest when you are observing something. Whenever someone does something, they always send out an intention. And an intention is a message. And what the movie Planet of the Apes, in my opinion, was all about, it was about to warn white people that, hey, if we don't keep these blacks under control, they are going to overrule us. So let's take a closer, have a firm grip on them so they don't excel. And that actually is what the movie, what the real movie is about. It's about the chimp saying, hey, we don't want these people to overpower us, and and so on. But again, you had someone that escaped and went to the future, went to the past or went to the future, something like that, and they realized what was going on. The humans, they realized that in the future the primates will overrun them, and that they saw that it was that the future Earth got destroyed. And so I think they had to go back in time, something like that. I don't remember the details, but in short, it's a conflict of escaping the destruction and to warn their people. So yes, hi Johnny Dragon. Yes, I am doing great. Yes, I'm talking about how beyond the veil of blackness, and here I'm talking about some movies and how all these different movies are really saying the same thing. Okay, so that was the Planet of the Apes. But there were other movies. No, well, wait a minute, let me back up a little bit. Now again, the Planet of the Apes and movies like that came out, there were several movies made, both the original, very original series, and then they did a new version of it with more CGI in it, and it's really interesting to look at. But the message is still the same. And again, as a little girl with the original one that came out, I felt uncomfortable watching it. I felt uncomfortable, even though, like I was mentioning, I wasn't born and raised in the segregated South. I was born and raised up in the North. But I felt uncomfortable as a person of color. And I never discussed how I felt about this movie with my family, because I saw it. The movie came on television eventually, and that's where I actually saw it. I remember the billboards, and then I remember it came on television, and how afraid I was, because they talk about the end of the world, and you see the only black person that they had in the movie dies, and he's in a display at his human zoo. I knew in my heart who they were really targeting. And this is part of what I call the brainwashing, the veil that is put across our face. And again, a veil doesn't have to be black. A veil could be any color. It could be pink, white, yellow, blue, any color. A veil is just something that covers. But in this society, they want to make you accustomed that any veil is black, and that is a symbol of something evil, because you don't see what's on the other side. In actuality, the veil is not what's evil. The veil is just something that's there that you, viewer, has to decide to pull away. We're even taught to hate each other, to fear one another, of the black community and other people of color. As if you notice, like in the United States, New York City has many types of people, and it especially manifests itself, this hatred and mistrust that we have on the job, in the job market. You have people who will try to sabotage others for failure so that they can get fired and then bring their friend in. People get promoted or demoted, and everybody's starting to act paranoid. Or let's say someone goes into a neighborhood that is not their neighborhood, let's say they look different or dress differently than the people of that community, and they stand out. Some people will not like other people in this neighborhood. Sometimes they might say something crass. Sometimes they might do something physical against someone. You know, so many things that could happen. So but this is not anything new. You know, and then now in the media you have about, even in Europe, they talked about the migration that was happening there and what they call xenophobia and to be overrun. And this heightens our fear. And then in our country, you heard about what they call the caravan that's forming in Central America. And they're moving. They entered by force into Mexico, and the people, they were from Guatemala and another country in Central America. And at one point, they were throwing rocks at the Mexican police officers and forced their way into Mexico, and they're heading to the United States of America. Now, when I saw that, I have to be honest, and I did do a video about this, it did put anxiety in me, and it put anxiety in me for several reasons. And the main well, again, I have to preface that it is okay for people to visit the United States of America, no matter, you know, any country. But what I disagree with is for people to use force to enter a country, and it's not regulated. Regulated meaning you have to know who comes in your border, just like you're going to be careful who comes into your home. Someone might say, hey, we have a package for you. Let's say someone pretending to be the postman or postwoman, and they come into your home with the intent to do harm and with deceit in mind, and then they take over, they rob you, they vandalize your home. So we have to use a lot of common sense in any matter, and it has nothing to do with color, even though we are all being brainwashed to think that's what it's all about. My other concern is that the work I've done in the past, much of the work I've done in my latter life was with people from other countries. And most of my work that I've done is with people from other countries. Very few people from the United States where I live, where I was born. And so I'm very comfortable working with people who do not speak English well, or maybe they don't speak any English. I had friends from many different parts of the world. But I saw things started changing for me when the competition for jobs and the more influx of immigrants, and when I became outnumbered by people, like comparing how many native-born Americans versus those who aren't born here, and I became outnumbered. And I see that with some immigrants, when they see that you're outnumbered, that many of them start to treat you differently. And yes, I did get angry when this happened to me. But again, this video is not about immigration. It is about fear of how people of color, whether American-born or foreign-born, have come to experience biasness just solely because of what they look like or what countries they come from. So I did mention about the Planet of the Apes. So you all could just, Google Planet of the Apes, and you'll see a whole different, a whole lot of different movies on this, and you could see what videos are out there on it, and just to get a taste of what that movie is about. And then you come to your own conclusions. Now, there was another movie made, the movie King Kong. King Kong came out, I think, in the 1930s, the original King Kong. King Kong, for those of you who don't know who King Kong was, it was like a computer. It was a giant gorilla that gets loose in New York City, and it does eventually die. But before he dies, there's like the gorilla falls in love with this white woman with blonde hair, and the police, everyone is afraid of this giant gorilla. Well, when I saw this, when I saw the original King Kong, well, we didn't have back then. When I saw, I might have seen the movie in the 1970s, and again, the original King Kong might have again came out in the early 1930s or late 30s. And something happened around that time. There was a black heavyweight boxer. I think his name was Jack Johnson. He actually was the first heavyweight black boxer, who won. He won many boxing matches, and he won against white people, and he tragically dies in a car accident. Now, during the time, like, he was winning all these fights, just like many of you have heard of Muhammad Ali. Now, Jack Johnson, I think that's what his name was, he even did maybe even better than Muhammad Ali. And Jack Johnson was the son of a former slave. His mother was a slave. And with the money that he won for boxing, a heavyweight boxer, he used that money and bought his mother a large home to live in. Now, isn't that a wonderful story here, from slave to a homeowner, But it's a thing in history that people don't want the main black community to know about. It's hidden. But again, in the 1930s, this King Kong movie came out. And the movie King Kong was really addressing the famous black heavyweight champion, Jack Johnson. And so it was to frighten people, frighten white people, and to send a message to black people that if you try to get one of our women, our white women, just like the giant gorilla had grabbed the white woman, that we're going to shoot and kill you. And again, King Kong also dies at the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building actually is a phallic symbol. It represents the male's private part, an erect male private part, and that by having, when they showed the gorilla falling off of the Empire State Building, it's saying that they destroyed his manhood. Okay, so go see the original movie, and you'll see, and you come to your own conclusions. And I also want to talk about this other movie I saw. Well, this one is a documentary that I'm going to discuss. I saw it on YouTube just a couple of days ago. It was a 3-part series about interracial couples and mixed race people living in Britain today. And it showed from from the time of World War I to World War II, and then from World War II to the 1960s, and then like the 60s to present, something like that. It's like three of them, three different series. And what I noticed overall, it was very interesting, the documentary. But even this documentary, I thought was really conveying, again, the brainwash about the veil of deception about blackness. Now, again, the series was about different types of interracial unions. And yes, they had the classic black and white mix. They had people from Asia, different parts from Asia, like India, China, things like that. But if you watch all three of the documentaries, and if you see the amount of time that they spend on each group, the group that they really focused on this documentary, guess who you think they really focus mostly on? They focus mostly on black people. So it's conveying, in my opinion, that the real stigma behind interracial unions and the offspring, and what happens to the offspring in Britain, was really putting a lot of fear and focus on if that union is between a black and a white person. So again, this is reinforcing to feel uncomfortable. Even now, Africa is a very large continent, but it really doesn't have a lot of people. Now, they did have India and the rest of Asia. Now, in China alone has over 1 billion people. So you add China and India, it's over 2 billion. So there's a larger population pool of people from those places, the former British colonies, to come into Britain. So it would happen, the frequency, I would imagine, just by their numbers, would outnumber black and white unions. But the documentary focused heavily on black and white unions, as if something is more stigmatized about that. And so when I saw that documentary, that's what I think really had me to initially want to do this video, to talk about why do they focus so much on black and white unions, and again, why this surgency of these migration into Europe. And they didn't call what was happening in Europe, they didn't call it a caravan, but they used some other term. But it's a fear associated with them, that there's danger. And yes, there is danger when you have people who are not in control. And the same here. But what if, I have to back up a little bit. Now, many of you have heard about the caravan from Central America that's trying to reach the United States. Remember, like you had people who were speaking on behalf of these migrants / caravan that's going to be entering into the U.S. But remember when the country of Haiti is part of an island in the Caribbean. It's a large island it's an island that's shared by two nations, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And they were what was called boat people from Haiti that took a raft and sailed to enter U.S. waters. And the stigma of the people to enter, I've heard things like, well, they have AIDS and things like that. And then I heard of another situation of a young boy from Cuba who was being smuggled out of Cuba with his mother and the mother's boyfriend, and not given permission to leave. The father of that child was not informed, and unfortunately the mom and the mother's boyfriend dies, but the boy survived, and he did reach American waters. But there was a lot of rallying for the protection of this boy and to keep the boy in the United States, because Cuba is such a bad place. Now, with Haiti, there was a lot of turmoil happening there. Yes, it's a country that may not have as much resources to the same extent as the United States, but there was a lot of political strife, and people, I saw a video of people being macheted to death. And so there was a lot of this violence that was happening to the civilian population that was just seeking safety, but they weren't received with open arms. But the caravan happening in Central America, people are willing to have them here. And again, the amount of Haitians that entered wasn't in the thousands. They were just small numbers on a raft. So that was poo-pooed on, but you have people who are promoting the caravan that's in the thousands coming into the U.S. and using violence and throwing rocks at the police officers and harming the police officers of Mexico. And the Mexican government is trying to help them. So I have a problem with that. So again, why do I mention the distinction between Haiti, Cuba, and Central America? Well, it's about perception. And some people think that some groups, some people of color, are better or worth helping than others. And in the United States, they make a distinction between black people. If you're black but non-Hispanic versus being someone of black heritage who speaks Spanish, who is from a Hispanic environment, or country, I should say. And so they're favoring one type of group over another. And that's also what's causing conflicts in New York City between the different factions. You have different Caribbean groups, different Central American groups, and then you have the American-born blacks who are English-speaking, and there is conflict many times. And so I want us to be aware of this veil. If you think back, let's say 100 years ago, 200 years ago, where were we? Our lineage going back then, what were you called? You were called according to your status. Were you slave or were you free? And even if you're a free person of color, there was no real freedom, and you're limited what you can do, and that's including what they call Latin America. And I would like for Latin America and Anglo-American blacks to realize this, that it's not what you call yourself now. You have to look up where you came from and where you're going. We have so much more in common. And yes, we might speak differently, eat foods that might be slightly different, but our food and our experience is actually very, very similar. And that together we are strong. When we start fighting each other and using colorism and saying who's better than somebody else because of their skin color or the texture of their hair or their accent, etc., it's foolishness. We have to stick together in order to really transcend. And again, we're stronger when we're together. So that's what I wanted to share today. I'm just looking at my notes here. I also wanted to talk about the, like, again, when you have different factions and, sometimes you think something is going on. Sometimes you might get so paranoid about a situation that you want to, you might distort something. You might think someone's out to get you who's not, because your antenna is up. And every little difference, or just to see certain people, you feel defensive, and that could hinder your I'm sorry, just looking here. It could mess you up. Now, I had done a video a couple of days ago about, it was a family matter, and this family matter at the time had me so upset. I think it gave me a headache, and it made me really uncomfortable with this individual. I felt I was being judged. And I got to really see more directly what was really going on in the matter. Now, I'm not going to go in detail about the situation, but the essence of what the problem was someone wanted to have someone buy something and wanted people to contribute. Now, who they were going to buy this thing for, the person didn't ask for it. But it turned out, well, this person wanted us to contribute, and if you didn't contribute, you were called someone who doesn't want their elderly family member to have quality of life. And I'm all for quality of life, especially for the elderly and children. And so so the person made me at ease, and using again the veil of blackness / deception to get me to do something that I didn't want to do. And I had very good reasons why not to do it, and it turned out that it wasn't needed after all. And then I talked to the person who actually initiated the whole interest of buying this particular thing. It was a television set, a large flat screen TV. And this person was going to just buy this other person this large flat screen TV out of their own pocket. But somehow this other person found out about it, and then went to other people and put this guilt trip on them. And it turns out that the original person never asked him to do this. And so I asked myself this morning, when I found out about it, well, I didn't find out about it this morning, but I was thinking about it this morning, why would this person put this guilt on me, especially if they didn't initiate it? Then it came to me, sometimes when people feel guilty about something, they want to put their guilt on someone else. I mean, I'm just speculating, I don't know. Because I thought this person was a very good person. And in heart, I think this person is a good person. But the person doesn't live near this other person. And maybe the guilt of not living nearby this person and seeing other people doing things for this person, they want to feel included. They want to feel that, they're not a bad person, that they're willing to help. And when they presented it, the matter, they made it sound like it's something that they initiated, and they didn't. And so I share this again because of intent. The person who shared to me that they actually bought the item, that they were going to buy the item, was saying the same thing that I said. And what I said initially, that if I want someone to, if I care if I care for someone and I feel that they could benefit by something, I would just buy out of my own pocket. You know, I wouldn't ask and go to people and say, hey, you know, I want to do this. Hey, you want to join in? No, I'm not that type of person. If I want someone to have something, I buy it for them. And this other person said the same thing, which I thought was really amazing. And I'm starting to wonder, did they see my video and heard me say that? It was amazing. He said pretty much the same thing I said. And I told the person that I said that. So it was really interesting. So again, sometimes people have things going on in the back burner that's the real issue, and rather than dealing with it themselves, they get other people involved and put the shame that or embarrassment that they have about themselves and put it on someone else. So that's the same thing how racism works. They take the guilt that they feel about themselves. They don't like themselves, and they want to inflict racism or hatred of someone's religion or nationality, etc., or your gender against someone because they feel inadequate about themselves, and they want to take dominance over that other person to give themselves the edge over them. And so that's why I'm sharing this story, that people are using things to divide because they want dominance over you. And isn't this really interesting? You guys heard about the what do you call it? The Space Force, which is going to be the 6th military branch. So you're going to have the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and now Space Force. And I was very concerned when I heard the President Trump, and the Vice President use the term dominance. And the word dominance to me means to put it over someone else, so that almost like you're sitting on top of them. And isn't this, I mean, if space is really an uncharted frontier, why go in with the mindset of dominating someone that you haven't met? It's like the Crusades or Christopher Columbus and all the other people who came in to have what they call colonies in the Americas. It's the same old about men who have greed and dominant issues, and to enforce it over a people who's unsuspected, and they're not about trade. It's not like, hey, we want to do a space force, have a space force and find out what's out there and maybe make friends and blah blah blah. No, he's using a very military term of conquest, and the conquest over another life, and that I feel very uncomfortable with. And so I don't want history to repeat itself. So this is what I wanted to share early this morning, around 8 o'clock this morning, and I made about 4 attempts to say what I'm saying now, and each time, like I try to do a live stream, and then it just conk out, and then I try to do just a video on a regular video off stream, and then upload it later, and something happened to that one. And that particular recording I want to share with you guys. This is the paranormal event. I mean, I have no explanation, okay? And again, I made, let me show you my phone. This is just a regular a regular iPhone. Okay, I do my live streams on this basically, and again with the iPhone you can just do regular videos, and you could again do live stream videos on it. And because it did not allow me to do the live stream, it kept cutting off. And again, I never really had any problems before, and really no problem. I mean, I was I was in the bathtub when I did the initial video, and I've done videos in the bathroom before, and there was no problem with it. So, and it did have energy in it. It might have been 25% full, you know, of energy to do the live stream. And I thought, you know, just do a quickie, and if it got too low of energy, it just usually pops up a message that is going to, you know, low power. You know, you could continue on, and then it eventually would cut itself off, you know. So that's what I thought it was going to do. And when it, so I would like time myself and say, okay, I'll just do 2 minutes longer and then sign off. But that that didn't happen. Yes, something happened. I was doing the regular, because I couldn't do the live stream around 8 o'clock this morning. I went to do just a regular recording. And I also use a device, like with this iPhone, there is a problem with the audio. So I bought this device that I can plug into the center port here, the one in the middle, and do the recording with the earpiece on, that has the mic, built-in mic into it, and talk into it. That's how I've been doing much of my live streams for the past month and a half or so. So it's just the same old, doing a recording using that device, and then something happens. Yes. Now I thought everything was okay, and again, if it was going to be loss of, you know, low energy, it would pop up the message. But something did pop up, and an amber triangle, I think it had an exclamation point inside, and I just thought, oh, did it, you know, what's going on? And but the numbers were still moving, so it's still recording. So I just keep on going, and when I finish, I press stop. And I said, let me play it back. And when I played it back, something bizarre happened. Now, I did do what they call try to problem solve. What could have caused this phenomenon that happened to my recording? I did like a quick 1-minute video without the device, and you know, the earplug thing that has a built-in mic. I did it with and without the mic, you know, like 1-minute videos each one, but I didn't get the same phenomenon. So I'm wondering, how did this happen? So I want to show you, I hope I can navigate on this. I'm using OBS to live streams, and you can also see the comments of the people, you know, the chat room. And I want to show you this. I hope I do this right. Again, I haven't used this computer in over 2 months, and so I'm a little rusty. But let me see if I can find it for you. I want to show, I downloaded the recordings on it. And again, let me give more details about it. Now, when I was doing the, you know, what I was just discussing early in the video, how do you say it? You know, everything seemed fine, and in the, like, if you're using the mic, you'll be able to hear everything. You know, you hear me talking, and what's what's going on around me. You could hear sound. But at one point, like I had moved the phone, like I was just position the phone, like I'm aiming it at something as I'm talking. I didn't have it pointing on me, at me, but I just moved the camera like this, and then it looked like it froze. But it froze for a little bit, and then it resumed again. But when it resumed, that's when the phenomena happened. You no longer hear my voice, but you hear something else. And I'm not sure what that other thing is. And it's like really weird. Now, again, I thought, well, maybe like because I was in the tub and water was in the tub. And you know, with regular tubs, you know, like if you fill it up too much with water, it has like a device inside, and that it allows the water to go back down, you know, so it doesn't overflow, and it, you know, so it just goes into this little hole to prevent an overflow. And it just has these, you know, regular gurgle sounds, whatever. You know, maybe I'll show you. I'll show you that one first. What it's supposed to sound like. Okay, let me find it. Okay. So let me see here. I think it's this one. Let me see. Oh, let me go. Wait a minute. I hope I can do this right. Oh, this is tricky. Let me see here. I'm just, let me put it back. Let me put me back on. Sorry, I have to go through this other channel here. Let me try to find it now. Want to look on the, let's see. It's on the desktop. Let's see. Okay. I'm trying, folks. Okay, this might work now. Okay. Let me click on this thing here. Let's see. Let's see. Go on this share dashboard. Okay, maybe this might work. Okay, let me see. Oh, let me see. Oh, it's not putting, you know, I'll just play this sound. Okay, what I'll do, I'll just play the audio, because you really can't see anything. Here I go. Hello everyone, it is now 8:55 a.m. November 10th, 2018, Saturday morning. Yes, so I'm showing a picture of my tub. It's very dark in the room. It's not picking up the light. But what's important is the sound. Now I have my tub filled up with water. And you know, with tubs, modern day tubs, when it's high, the little gadget in the front allows water to escape in there. Okay? So you may hear sounds of water. Let me just get some water in there. Okay, do you hear anything? Can you hear me splashing? What I'm trying to do is try to get the water to fill up. I mean, to go down yeah, okay, okay. Hear that? Okay, now I'm just sitting in there, not trying to push the water in it. Can we really hear anything? Maybe before you heard like a little gurgle sound. Okay, what I'm going to do next is try my ear device for comparison. Oh. Okay, so that is me just doing a quick take on what it sounds like water entering into the hole. Okay, you just hear like little gurgle sound. You hear me splashing the water to get into the hole and it drained down. Okay, I wish I was able to share this screen, but in fact it was dark in the room, so you can't really see anything anyhow, but the audio is what's important. Okay, now this video, let me turn this one on. This video also, audio is just 1 minute and 40 seconds. Let me play this. This is with the earpiece. So the first one I just did is without the earpiece that has the built-in mic, and then this one is with the earpiece. Here we go. Okay, it is still Saturday, November 10th, 2018, 8:58 a.m. And this is taking a picture of my top. And I have my microphone plugged into the phone to capture the sound. This is the device I had on that made that funny sound. So that's just me moving my leg. And it's like gurgling sound. That's the water going down the top. So when the water gets too full, the safety device, the excess water goes down this little hole behind the stopper. Yeah, it's me trying to make it happen more. Hear it? Hear that? Trying to move some more water in there. Okay. It's not that loud. You hear it a little bit. Okay? This is just for just see what happens. How does it sound? Okay. Okay, so you can hardly even hear anything, right? So let me play you now the video in question. Okay, I really wish I could show. Let me try to navigate again. Maybe somehow I could. Let me try something else because I really want you to see. Okay, let me click on this here. Let's see, Finder. No. And try something else here. Okay, I'll just play it. I don't know how to share it. And put my face back on. Okay, let me just play the video. Okay, and I'm going to put this after this live stream uploads. I'm going to upload this event. Let me see. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey, and hello, Saturday morning. Yes, it is about 8:12 a.m. in the morning, and yes, I'm in the tub. My body is aching. Okay, let me see if I could fast forward it. Let me try something else. So I'm really desperate. I really want to share with you what's really going on. Let me see. I want to try something else. Let me see. Oh, how do you do this? Let's see. Desktop. No, that doesn't work. I really want to show you the video. I'm very visual. brother. Let's see that one. Oh, wait a minute. I think I saw it. Wait a minute. I think this is it. Yes. Okay. Okay, should go. QuickTime Player. I press OK. I press that to full. It should go. Oh, okay. I had to move it over. Okay. See, we live and learn. Yeah, okay. Okay, now. Let me press for it to go. Let me push it forward. I don't want to go over the full. Let me see. I think it's at mark number 7 minutes. Let me see. Let me see, put it back a little bit. Go back.
Blackness. And that.
Okay, so I was so you hear that I'm talking.
The same concept.
Okay, let me go a little more forward. And then at one point it glitches. Okay, and it went glitch when I moved the camera. I'm trying to find it. I'm not as pro as other people here. That's 2-minute mark. Okay. What happened here? I had moved the camera to show this these stones, and when I did that, everything goes black. And I'm actually talking here, but you hear no sound. Okay, let me go forward a little bit more. So now I move the camera up. The thing stopped glitching, and I just have the camera showing a little candlelight. Okay, but I'm actually talking here, but it doesn't pick up the audio for whatever reason. So I was talking, as you hear before, like here, you know, like here, see?
Distortions.
Okay, now let me get to the real meat of it, where it makes this noise. I'm gonna get to the beginning, right? When it first did it, I really want to get it. I'm sorry that I'm taking so long. So what? Okay. The only that's showing is just a candle. Rather than pointing at me, I pointed at the candle, and I'm actually talking. But the sound doesn't come. My voice doesn't come out. And the two lights in the back, that's not any monster. That's just something reflecting off a clock. Let me go back more. But I really wanted to find it. I heard something that was spooky. Boy, don't make me into a liar. Where did I heard it? Wait a minute. Let me fast forward. Well, you know, I'm going to put on pause. Now, I couldn't. Okay. I don't want to stay too long on this live stream. I can't find the exact position of it, but I played this. I just at random went to play the video, and I heard this weird sound. And again, if you know, when I upstream this said video, I'll upstream it as it's whole, unedited, and you just listen to it, because you hear me talk how I always talk, whatever, and then there's a pause, and then you hear something real. It was very loud, very, very loud. So but again, I just showed you earlier what the sound sounds like with the ear mic and without it, and it's very faint. But when I played back my video that I took on my iPhone, you know, a regular video on using my iPhone 6 Plus, and it seemed to be a glitch, and then no sound, everything got black, and then there was no sound, and then, you know, and I'm thinking everything's cool when I'm videotaping, and then I just, when I saw it stop glitching when I was actually doing the video, I just aim it at the candle and just continue talking. But you never hear my voice, and the video is almost 2 hours long, and I thought everything was cool. It says here 1 hour and 51 minutes and 41 seconds. So I'm going on and on talking, but in it you hear these loud sounds, and you come to your own conclusion what that sound is, because I demonstrate what it sounds like. Well, you know, a pipe, you know, water going down drain. But this was a little different. So it didn't make sense to me. And when I find the spot that really stands out to me, I'll probably, you know, put that in the description, listen to it at such and such mark. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. When I heard it, I turned it off. I said, what is that? Because it was very loud. So it is what it is, you know, so be it. But you come to your own conclusion and let me know what you think it is. So this is a long video. Let me look at the comments. I didn't even look at the comments yet. Okay. Let me move this. Okay, I'm looking at the comments. Yeah, you know, I enjoy you guys' comments and everything. Let's see, yes. Okay, let me read some of the questions, if anyone had a question for me. Oh, this is nice. This is by Miss Natural Knots. Thank you for your compliment. I appreciate hearing that. She says that I have a beautiful soul and a beautiful face. That's really nice. You look part black and part Cherokee Indian. Stay strong, sister. Sending love and light your way from the UK. Thank you very much. Thank you. And you know, I have no Native American Indian. I do have videos, and I disclose my DNA makeup on my channel. So you can just press on my channel and then type in the word DNA, and probably several videos will come out. And you look through the ones that have the information that would disclose my backup. You know, I have like the picture of the percentages and all that. I'm just a typical black and white mix of Caribbean ancestry. You know, very typical. But thank you for your compliment and everything. Let's see. Oh, it's Yakov. Yes, it's good to see you too, Yakov. Let's see. Just scrolling through it. Okay, Yakov saying, I heard what sound like a siren, then people talking and a scream. That's kind of what I heard. Yeah, see, I don't want to say what I heard. At the first point when the sound comes on, it was really interesting, and it was very loud. So I don't know what else to, you know, does anybody have any questions about some of the things that I talked about? I know I talked about a lot of things regarding the movie King Kong, the Planet of the Apes, and that BBC movie regarding interracial relationships and the offspring of these unions. And what about your experiences regarding a veil that has been, covering your eyes, and are now wanting to remove it? You know, because I think everything what's happening now is really about perception. A perception could be something positive or negative, but in the end it affects us all. You know, it affects you, the experiencer. Yeah. So I can't think of anything else, but I appreciate you viewers to stay up and watch my live stream this Saturday afternoon. And it means a lot to me for you to participate. So I guess until next time soon. And again, my live streams are spontaneous. And again, I have to watch my neck. Using the big screen here does, you know, my neck goes up like that, and it puts strain on the back of my neck. So that's why my videos are, I haven't been doing any of the editing. I just do a live stream and it goes immediately into YouTube. So it's just to keep me off the computer, because my health and everything, my bad back and my neck. So that's all. So I'm not avoiding you, and I'm interested in still producing quality information. I think that's important, and I still want to hear your comments and things that you can add to the chat, and you know, each one teach one. So I'll be ending this live stream, and I hope the audio and everything turned out well for you, that you can hear clearly. So let me know if you have any topics you may want me to discuss in the future, or people that you want me to interview, and move forward. So take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. Okay? Take care and don't be deceived by the veil. The veil is just an object, and it's not the source of fear. Once you pull the curtain back, just like in The Wizard of Oz, when Toto pulled back the curtain, what was revealed was who was really behind all that melee. Okay? Take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.